Hi, this is Coach Jay with Thrive Life Coach, and I wanted to take a little time on today to talk about the turn of events with George Floyd, the tipping pot. On tomorrow, June 9th, they are going to lay him to his final resting place here in Houston, Texas. And in that final resting place, we will be all left to grieve, to mourn, to reflect, to get a strategy, to have an idea, to make a plan on what are we going to do with the remains of our life and what's left. It is a very confusing and traumatic place to be in right now. We are still in the throes of the pandemic of the COVID-19. And the uncertainty of this disease is still plaguing the land. It is still disproportionately affecting the African American community and the Latino and Hispanic communities. And it is still uncertain as to how this disease come to be and to plague the world on a global level. And so there are a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of invisible enemies and invisible fear that's out there. We just don't know what we're facing. We cannot even put it to words, the pandemic or the pandemic of racism. We cannot even put to words how we really feel. It is almost have no audible words to speak, and it has no adjectives that we can speak that we can truly describe this experience that we witnessed. The casual cavalier attitude of this police officer that took his life publicly, matter-of-factly, and very hate-driven act. There's no words. I want to be honest today and say, I'm not okay. And it's okay to not be okay. I have watched marches, protests, rioting, and all types of mob mentalities take place right at the fingertips of my hands. I watched the elderly man be pushed down. I watched them step over him. I have watched women be assaulted. I have watched the anger that was spoken back to the officers. I have seen tears. We have seen all manner of human life, some of the very lowest levels that live within us. I've also seen some very positive. I've seen some good reactions. I have seen where hope is available. To see the reactions of other nations and other countries has been mind-blowing and heartfelt. I still have to say, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with where we're going to be left, how we're going to fight this fight, what are going to be our strategies, what is the battle in the unseen and unknown enemy called racism. You know, Albert Einstein talks about the bee and the bee being extinct. And if the bee becomes extinct in the earth, that in 4 years, mankind will be extinct. There's an importance with the bee, and that it populates and pollinates crops, bringing us fruit, bringing us food, bringing us cotton, almonds, nuts of this sort. It feeds this nation. If the honeybee dies and become extinct, there will be a famine in the land. And we will all be in the perils of not enough food to eat. This small, insignificant insect can affect the world globally and nationally if it ceased to exist. As a result of knowing this, there has been a bee movement where people have asked, what can I do to help the bee? What are some of the things we can do to help the bee to be able to pollinate and to help the food and the nation? And many people have learned that global conditions, how they use pesticides and things of this nature, can change and turn this situation around. Well, George Floyd, his death and what has happened raises the same question. How can I move in this movement? What are some of the things that I can contribute and that I can do to change this, to turn this around, so that not only the black man will no longer be extinct, there will no longer be genocide, but that no other race, no other person, no other disability, no other limitation, no other culture or subculture has to endure what the black race has had to endure. Because of this one person, we now have to look at this, that this could be any of us. It could be all persons. So we have to make a change for the world. We have to make a change for all humans. We got to make a change for all situations. This pandemic called racism has got to be erased. It's got to be stopped. It's got to be removed from the face of the earth. And we must understand that we're all connected in this, and that we could all be better. We could all stand to improve our lives and live in a better world. We must understand that if we keep one race or one person down, if we keep our knee in their necks, we're going to keep our own selves down. Everybody wants to get up. Everybody wants to stand up. Everybody wants to be a man, a woman, a human being. So I say today that I hope that on a very national and global and world view, that this change has lasting effects, that we don't leave anybody out in the movement and the momentum to be effective, no matter how small or how big we may be, but that we understand we're all valuable, we're all needed, and no one was created superior, greater, or more than another human being. I know that it's very insulting to say that all lives matter. It is very insulting to change the momentum of this movement, to make it become something else. I want to say that yes, all lives matter, but what we're saying is Black lives need help right now. Right now, it's Black Lives Matter. So I want those that don't understand, those that don't want to understand, those that don't want to agree and they think very differently, that if these are your feelings, I want you to think about this and just listen. Listen without defending yourself, and listen without offending anyone. These are my thoughts. They're just what I'm thinking. And I would like us just all to take reflective thoughts. If you think counterproductive to this, keep it to yourself. I'm only wanting to share those who really want to find positive ways to change, positive ways to communicate openly and honestly so that we can move forward, so we can change the momentum in a positive way, in a more life-sustaining way, and creative way. And remember, we all have value, from the honeybee to the human being. Until next time, it's Coach J with Thrive Life Coach.